There is a specific kind of shortage that most people have never experienced and don't have a mental model for. Not a temporary shortage, not a supply delay, a permanent one. Where the item goes missing from shelves, then from warehouses, then from the distributor's catalog, and then simply stops existing in the retail system entirely. It has happened in every documented collapse scenario. It happened in Venezuela. It happened in Argentina. It happened in the Soviet Union's final years, and in every single case, the people caught without these items didn't lose them to price gouging or panic buying. They lost them because the supply chain that produced them quietly stopped functioning and never restarted. This video covers 14 items that follow that exact pattern, not things that come back in 2 weeks, things that once gone are gone. Subscribe right now and stay for number 14. It is the one item on this list that cannot be bought at any price once the window closes. Number 1. Calcium hypochlorite pool shock. This is not a pool maintenance product. This is a concentrated water purification compound that treats thousands of gallons per pound and has an indefinite shelf life when stored properly. Liquid bleach degrades within 6 months. Pool shock does not. During any prolonged infrastructure event, this becomes the most important chemical compound a civilian household can own, and it vanishes permanently from hardware stores within the first week. Buy it now in granular form, sealed, and store it in a cool, dry place. Number 2. Heirloom seeds, not hybrid, not GMO. Heirloom seeds that produce plants whose seeds you can harvest, dry, and replant the following season. This is the difference between a one-season food supply and a permanent one. Hybrid and commercially treated seeds do not reproduce reliably. Once the agricultural supply chain breaks, access to viable planting stock becomes a survival variable. A quality heirloom seed vault covering vegetables, legumes, and greens costs under $30 in stores for years. This is the only item on this list that multiplies itself if you use it correctly. Number 3. Printed medical and survival reference books. The internet goes down, your phone dies, the knowledge stored in it becomes inaccessible. A physical copy of a wilderness medicine guide, a field surgery manual, or an edible plants reference does not require power, signal, or a subscription. These books are currently available, currently cheap, and currently being printed. During a prolonged collapse, the digital infrastructure that hosts this information degrades, and the printing infrastructure that produces these books shuts down. The knowledge you don't own physically before that happens is knowledge you no longer have access to. Number 4. Mechanical watches and wind-up clocks. Battery-dependent timekeeping fails when batteries run out and cannot be replaced. Mechanical watches and wind-up clocks require nothing but periodic manual winding and keep accurate time indefinitely. Time coordination matters for medication schedules, for shift rotations during a watch, for meeting points, and for navigation using the sun. A functional mechanical timepiece sounds trivial until every battery-dependent device in your house is dead, and you cannot tell if it is 2 in the afternoon or 4. Number 5. Spare prescription eyeglasses. If you wear corrective lenses and your glasses break or your contact supply runs out during a prolonged crisis, you are functionally impaired. Optometrists close. Lens labs close. Online retailers become inaccessible. Your current prescription is the only window you have to get a backup pair made before that system goes offline. A spare pair from an online discount retailer costs $15 to $30 right now. This is not an item you can improvise or substitute, it is binary. You either have it or you don't. Number 6. Cast iron cookware. Non-stick coatings degrade, thin steel warps over open flame. Cast iron lasts generations, works on any heat source including open fire, and requires no replacement parts. Once supply chains for manufactured goods tighten, cast iron is not a priority restock item. It is heavy, it is slow to produce, and it disappears from shelves quietly. A 10-inch cast iron skillet costs $15 at most hardware stores. It will outlast every other piece of cookware you own and work on every cooking surface, including ones that don't require electricity. Number 7. Pressure canners and canning supplies. Home food preservation is the skill that separates households with a 3-day supply from households with a 3-month supply. Pressure canners allow you to safely preserve meat, vegetables, and legumes at room temperature for years. Canning lids and rings are consumables that get depleted and don't get restocked during supply disruptions. A pressure canner costs $60 to $80. The knowledge to use it costs nothing. Once food preservation equipment leaves shelves during an extended event, it does not come back. Number 8. Shortwave and hand crank radios. Standard AM and FM cover local emergency broadcasts. Shortwave covers international frequencies, including government and military communications, that broadcast information suppressed or unavailable on domestic channels. During prolonged national crises, shortwave radio has historically been the only uncensored information source available to civilians. These radios are currently mass-produced and affordable. They are not a priority restock for any retailer during a supply chain disruption, and they go fast. Number 9. Manual hand tools. A hand drill, a manual saw, a draw knife, a spoke shave. These are the tools that build, repair, and fabricate without electricity. Power tools become expensive paperweights when the grid goes down. Manual tools do not. The manufacturing base for quality manual hand tools has been shrinking for decades as the market consolidated around power tools. What is on shelves now is what exists. Once demand spikes during a crisis, manual tool inventory does not recover quickly because the factories that make them at scale are few and globally distributed. Number 10. Non-hybrid fuel stabilizer and engine treatments. Stored fuel degrades within 60 to 90 days without stabilizer. Engines running on degraded fuel fail. Stabilizer extends stored fuel viability to 12 months or more. This is a direct multiplier on every fuel reserve you have. It costs $6 a bottle, treats up to 20 gallons, and disappears from auto parts stores permanently once fuel hoarding behavior sets in among the general population. A $6 bottle of stabilizer protecting 20 gallons of fuel is one of the highest value items on this entire list. Number 11. Alcohol and antiseptic compounds. Rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and medical-grade iodine are wound care essentials that are also used as fire starters, surface disinfectants, and in some cases as trade goods. They are cheap, light, and storable. They are also among the earliest items cleared from pharmacy shelves during any health or civil emergency because their utility is broad and their consumer awareness is high. Stack them now while they are $1.50 a bottle. Number 12. Feminine hygiene and infant care supplies. This is the category that disappears first and gets restocked last and is almost never discussed in preparedness content. For households with women or infants, this is not optional. These are consumables with no functional substitute and finite shelf stock. A 3-month supply of the specific products your household requires costs under $50 to build right now. During an extended supply disruption, this becomes one of the most sought-after trade commodities in any community and one of the most overlooked gaps in household preparedness. Number 13. Activated charcoal and basic detoxification supplies. Activated charcoal is a medical first responder tool for ingestion poisoning and a water pre-filtration agent. It is available over the counter right now at any pharmacy for under $10. It is not a common household item and therefore warehouse stock is always thin. During any event involving contaminated water, chemical exposure, or compromised food safety, it clears from shelves immediately and does not return on any predictable timeline. Number 14. Knowledge you haven't written down yet. Everything on this list is a physical object. This one is not. The skills you know, the contacts you have, the routes you've memorized, the medical procedures you understand, none of that exists in a form your family can access if you are incapacitated or unavailable. Write it down. A laminated reference card with emergency contacts, medical information, evacuation routes, and basic protocols costs nothing to produce and survives phone failure, power failure, and every other failure on this list. You can stockpile every item in this video and still leave your household completely exposed because the operational knowledge only lived in your head. That is the gap that closes last and matters most. Shelves don't go empty all at once. They go empty category by category, quietly before most people notice the pattern. The people who are comfortable on the other side of that transition are not the people who reacted fastest. They are the people who decided early that they were not going to be caught negotiating from a position of nothing. That decision is available to you right now. Most of these items cost less than a single restaurant meal. Comment below with the one item on this list you are handling this week, and subscribe now because the next video is about the 14 skills that matter more than any of the gear, and most of them can be learned for free. That one goes up next and you do not want to find it after you need it.